Hey guys, welcome back to Coach's Corner. I'm Lucas Nowatkowski, and today I'm your host with my friend Patrick. Patrick, tell about something about you and about our guest today.
Yeah, nice to be here again, Lucas. I'm Patrick, and I'm the co-host, you would say, and
and the coach, of course.
Yeah, but we can leave that alone for now. We have my dear friend Simon Dyson with us today, and we're going to talk to him about a little bit about the game of golf, life on tour, and maybe some data points that he might be using when he's practicing and so on. So,
oh yeah,
welcome,
Simon. I need to hear it. I need to hear it from Simon for sure, because I'm staying now with the 50 of my balls in a basket, and what I should do. And Simon, tell about you something.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. My name's Simon Dyson. I spent 19 years on tour. I had a year in Asia on the Asian tour. Won 3 times out there, won the Order of Merit. That was my rookie year. And then I got my card in Europe and then managed to win 6 times as well in Europe. So, played on the European tour for 18 years. And then, unfortunately, a wrist injury forced me out. Unfortunately, I came back from my wrist injury and just wasn't the same player. But I've started coaching now. Not so much swing technique. It's more about this perfect opportunity, like we're going to talk about today, about how to get the most out of your practice. That's what I help a lot of players with, how we learn better. And I keep everything really simple. So if I want a certain movement to change in the swing, I will then get the player to change the shot rather than the swing. So, how we practice is huge. You know, I've seen a lot of good people who are great at practicing, and then I've seen equally good people who are terrible at it. So it's a really interesting topic.
Yeah, that's right. For sure. Especially if you are staying at the driving range, right? And look at your balls basket and think what I should do.
Yeah,
I mean, before we, sorry,
I was just going to say, I've had some of my friends, you know, I'll get 50 balls, they'll get 100, and they finished the 100, and I've still got 15, 20 balls left. So we call that machine gun practice, which is not very good at all.
But Simon, I just want to go back to your professional career, because I really want you to tell us about something special. You, out of 3 people, have won the same tournament 3 times. Tell us a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, so I didn't know until I won my 3rd one. I won the KLM Open 3 times. So my first one was in 06, second one was in 09, and then my third one was in 2011. And when I won it for the third time, the guy who basically handed over the trophy to me said, "Oh, you're in illustrious company." And I was like, "Why?" He said, "Oh, there's only Seve and Langer who have won this tournament 3 times, and now you're the third person to have done it." So that was really special because, I mean, 2 absolute legends of European world golf. You know, if you ever wanted to learn things from, you could learn nearly everything from both of them about like how flair play, but then, you know, taking data, making that matter. Like Langer's so strict with everything that he does. And then you've got Seve, who was just the biggest flair player ever. So yeah, two guys I massively looked up to playing, and then they told me that. So that was really special.
Yeah, 3 times in a row. Great.
Yeah, decent.
Oh,
Decent
decent.
accomplishment.
Yeah, but if you even go there, then and you saw for sure some professionals how they are practice, and what you think how the average golfer should practice, same or we as amateurs the crappy practice sessions?
I mean, I'm not been horrible to amateur golfers when I say this, but the majority of their practice sessions are probably 90% waste of time from what I see. You know, it's just hitting balls. They might be working on something to do with the swing, but they don't really have a target. They're thinking more about the positions in the swing. Then they judge how they've done it by the flight of the ball. Whereas, you know, you're standing on a range, it's a big open field, there's no consequence. So, of course, you're going to free up. So that's why a lot of people say, I hit it great on the range and then rubbish on the course, because it's 2 different games. Let's be honest. You're hitting into a massive field, no consequence, no pressure. And then you get on the first tee, there's trees down the left, bunkers down the right. All of a sudden, there's consequence and pressure. So those guys who say they hit it great on the range, they're not practicing the way that they should be practicing, I don't think.
Yeah, but it just a talent sometimes, you think, if somebody play good, or it is
No,
the
I mean,
structure of playing?
if you're hitting the ball good on the range, there's clearly talent there, isn't there? But it's easy. It's too easy. Let's be honest. You know, I was fortunate during COVID, during lockdown. I did lots of Instagram lives with celebrities, sportsmen in particular. And the one take I took, I did cricket, rugby, football, all kinds of sports. And the one thing I took from all of them was they all said their practice sessions were way harder than actually playing the game. Now, if you look at our golfer practices, their practice sessions are way easier than the game of golf. That's why they struggle. Now, if they added a little bit more stress and consequence into their practice sessions and made it harder, then it would hopefully replicate on the course and it'd feel that little bit easier on the course. And that's all we want, really, when we think about it. Most people just practice to get the swing looking good. Whereas I would rather they practiced to get the whole game good, rather and their golfing IQ better. So that when they got on the course did feel that little bit easier.
Yeah. What would you say is the most important part of the game? Is it the short game or the long game, mental side of it, or is it a combination of all?
I mean, for me, it's the mental side, without a doubt. You know, again, we all think we're good players on the range. We can all hit the shots. But then you stand on that first tee, your mind starts playing tricks on you. And it starts thinking, oh, I don't want to do that. And I don't want to do that. Don't hit it there. Whereas on the range, you're not really thinking that. You might have a target on the range, say at 150 yards. All you're thinking about is that target. Now,
and you always have a second ball lining up.
always. And
Yeah.
people are too fast to bring that second ball in. I refer it. You roll a piece of paper up, and there's a bin 5 meters away. You throw it, you'll probably get it in. Now, if somebody said to you, right, if you don't get it in, you owe me £100 or €100, all of a sudden there's pressure there. That basket will feel a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Now we haven't changed the size of the basket. We haven't changed the distance. All we've done is added a consequence and added stress. Now you're thinking about it differently. That's all that's changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the pressure, right? We discussed last time about the mentality in your head, right? Because this is the most important. But if some 16 handicapper are staying at this basket, then they are thinking differently, right? There is no pressure because nobody tell him if you did not hit 100 yards, you lost 100 pounds. But sometimes when you're playing with friends, those kind of activities exist, right? And sometimes
absolutely.
they push the pressure by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why not go to the range with your friends and then add the pressure there as well? So you could get, say 100 yards away, put 2 markers out that are 4 or 5 yards in between, and then hit 10 shots. And the one who gets the most through the cones, who lands it between the cones, they then win, and the other one has to do a forfeit or something. Or if you're on your own, hit 10 balls and you have to get 7 of them between the cones, and you can't leave until you do it. Now, all of a sudden, you get 6 out of 9 and you have to get 7 to pass. There's pressure on that last shot all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But we don't have that. We don't do, that's not how we practice. That's not how we're wired. We literally look at the ball flight. Oh, that looks nice. And then when it isn't, we drag another ball and try and make sure it's nice. And you know what it's like. You hit a bad shot. It's easy to hit a good shot after it. Because you kind of know what you're doing. Whereas if they hit a bad shot, that would, instead of reaching for another ball, and everyone's guilty of it. I've got +3, +4 handicappers who I'll give them a shot to hit, they'll miss it, and they'll reach for a ball straight away. So what I do with them is say, right, when you hit that bad shot, I want you to take a minute out. So you can't hit another ball for 1 minute. So all of a sudden, then you start thinking about what you've done and you retain the information way better. And then all of a sudden, because you've had that interleave in the practice, you give your full focus to the next shot.
How would you say we will get this knowledge out to the average golfer? How should we explain all of this?
I mean, social media is the worst for poor tuition.
That's why we will publish this video on social media.
Well, everybody puts swing videos. Nobody puts videos on how the mind works or how to practice more productively. There's a few guys doing it, but it almost gets dismissed because I call it the Instagram swing. People want the Instagram swing, the one that looks lovely, all the positions, all the lines, everything. Now, I teach a couple of lads who've got beautiful swings. And during our session, if they ask me to film their swing, I refuse. I'm like, we're not looking at the swing. We're looking at what the ball's doing. Your swing's great. But the only time your swing is going to break down is when you think poorly about a shot, not because you've moved poorly. You're thinking about it wrong. So then your body reacts to how you're thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, when you're on the course, it's, as you say, a mind game. And most of the time when you miss a shot, from my experience anyway, is when your thoughts pops up during the swing. Don't hit it left, don't hit it right, or whatever it tells you, and then you suddenly change during the swing, and then you completely miss the shots afterwards.
But do you know what that is, Patrick? So I've looked into this, and your brain doesn't comprehend negativity. It doesn't hear the word don't,
No,
basically.
exactly.
Now,
Yeah.
couple of examples I'm going to give you. When you're cooking, don't touch that pan handle, it's hot. What do? You always want to touch it.
Yeah.
And here's the best one. Don't think of a pink elephant. So what did you do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I told you not
the
to,
first thing
but you
pops
still
up.
did it.
Yeah.
Because your brain doesn't hear don't.
No.
So when you're stood over a shot and you're going, don't hit it left, you're telling your brain to think about left.
Yeah.
Whereas instead of saying don't, actually pick a target and think, right, that's where I want to hit it.
Yeah.
Even if it's a tight layup or a tight drive, really focus on that spot and go, that's where I'm going to hit it. And you know what? Even if you don't, at least you've thought about it properly.
Yeah.
But there's not that like I say, on the range, when you've got a target, that's all you're thinking about. I want to hit it there. I want to hit it there. You never think on the range, don't pull it or don't push it, because you've got such a wide field. So all of a sudden your focus is purely on your target. So you're thinking about what you want to do, and then you do it. And then you get on the course and you start saying to yourself, I don't want to hit it there and I don't want to hit it there. Well, you're thinking about the way, you're thinking about how to hit the shot in two very different ways.
Yeah. If you go back to the practice then, I'm not sure when you played on the tour, if you used launch monitors or something like that, but if you did, what kind of numbers did you look into in your practice sessions?
I mean, I'll be honest, we never had numbers. We never had TrackMan. You know, one of the very best practice sessions I ever had, and I didn't know it was called this, but was when I played in Hong Kong in 2000. And me and one of my mates on the Wednesday afternoon started picking shots. So we're on the range and we started saying, right, second hole, par 3, pin will be tucked left. We've got to hit a wedge to that pin, but you've got to hit a nice little draw into that pin. So we'd hit that. And then I'd call a shot and say maybe, right, par 5, 14th, you got to hit a big floating 5-wood little cut for your second shot. So we'd then rehearse that.
Yeah.
Now, that's basically called random practice, which is just one shot. You get one go, just like you do on the course, but you get one go at it on the range. And then you're trying to execute these shots. Now, we did this for 2 hours, just hitting different shots, different clubs, different flights, and calling each other's shots.
Yeah.
And then I went and played the tournament and I won it.
Yeah.
Now, was that a coincidence? Maybe. But I genuinely think the way I practiced helped.
Yeah.
Now, the
and
more
you
I've
had
looked
fun
into
during the time as well.
Absolutely. The 2 hours went like that. But the more I've looked into it, so you've got mass practice, which is where you hit one shot and you're working on your swing. So say you hit 59 irons to a target, which the majority of players do. The percentage of transfer of that onto the course is virtually zero. Now we all think, oh, I'm swinging it good. Oh, that feels better. It'll now transfer. It doesn't. And then you've got blocked practice, which is where you'll hit 5 shots of the same shot and then swap club, swap target, another 5, constantly changing, but you still get to hit the 5 shots. Now that has a bit higher rate of transfer, but still pretty low. And then you've got random, which is what I was doing on the range at Hong Kong, which all of a sudden then your transfer rockets. But no, I don't see any. I don't see anybody doing this. But then, and then your final one is called serial practice, So serial practice is playing the game in the order that you play it. So you'd hit a driver, an approach shot, a pitch, a chip, a putt. And then you'd hit a 3-wood, an approach shot, a chip, a putt. And you're actually practicing in the order because you're giving each shot so much time. Now it's hard, and you'd probably think you're failing a lot, but you're not. And that is random and serial practice. When I go back on tour, when I reach 50 years old, which isn't long, that will be the only kind of practice I will do. I might have 5 minutes here and there on block just to get certain feelings, but everything I do will be random and serial practice, and I'll just have loads of tests, loads of challenges on my TrackMan.
Cool.
Yeah, but
sorry.
Okay, maybe I want to ask only one more thing about this this random practice, because but you visualized the golf course or each hole, or first you hit and then describe which one hole was, or
no. So if you were playing each hole, so say if you said, right, I know my front 9, so I'm going to play my front 9 on the golf course, that's serial practice.
all right.
Whereas random would be, right, that target's 150 yards away, I'm going to hit an 8-iron to that. And then that pin over there's 50 yards, so I'll then hit to that. And then I'm going to hit a driver between those 2 trees, and then I'll hit that next target's 200, I'll hit to that. So it's just such random shots.
Okay.
But if you've got the facilities, you'd want to throw in a putt here and there. So you might hit an approach shot, say, and then range it off your approach shot. So say you hit to 150 yards to a flag and you missed by 10 yards. Then you'd walk to a short game area and hit a 10-yard chip. So a 30-foot chip. And then you'd go and hit the putt. And then you come back to the range. Now it's messy, and not many people have got the facilities to do things like this.
No.
But if you can, it is the best way of practicing by an absolute country mile. And like I said, I didn't really know how good it was when I was doing it in Hong Kong. And it might have been a coincidence, but it might have just been the fact that I was practicing exactly how I should have practiced. Because when I came back from my injury, I was a mass practicer. Whereas before my injury, I wasn't. But when I came back, there was certain things I didn't like about my swing. So it was all mass practice, but I didn't get any better. In fact, I probably got worse.
Yeah.
But you think with some equipment it is possible, if you're not have the good facility on staying at some equipment like a launch monitor and do the same, or it is almost impossible virtually?
Visually, the thing with visually, you're in control of what you see. So you might only have a flag, but then you might go, right, I'm going to picture a bunker on the left and water on the right. So you can visualize, and the better you get at that, the better it's going to be for you on the golf course. So even if you have only got a driving range with 3 or 4 flags, you can still visualize a shot. Because again, like we say about the mind not knowing don't, if you can visualize a certain shot and visualize the flight, again, your brain doesn't know the difference between you visualizing it and actually doing it. That's why you see, Formula One drivers visualizing corners, bobsledders visualizing corners, downhill skiers visualizing the track, mountain climbers visualizing where they're going to put their hands. Because the brain doesn't know the difference of you visualizing it and actually doing it. But again, that's not common knowledge. I've had to look into that to find that out. But if that was common knowledge, everyone would work at the visualization.
Yeah, for sure. But if we go back to the practice sessions and everything, and I know for a fact that you're very much into the short game areas and education on that side. And last time we met, we were working together a little bit, and I know that you look into club path, face to path, some spin rates and trajectories and stuff like that. Explain a little bit from your perspective what you're looking for from a player perspective.
What, on a short game or just practicing?
Yeah, no, a short game.
I mean, short game, I learned years and years ago, like, that I used to cut across the ball quite a lot. And I always remember Pete Cowan. I was with Pete Cowan 27 years. And he basically showed me and taught me how inconsistent that is. So when I started working at my short game, I found that when I dragged the handle and cut across it, it was so inconsistent. So I just started looking at a little bit more club path. And the more neutral I was, and the attack angle was, pretty decent, like 6-7, but with a neutral path, that was when I started to see real consistency. So I used to go quite steep and then across, whereas all of a sudden it felt like I was just kind of sliding the club under rather than, there was no divots. I was using the bounce properly. So that just made a real big difference for me. He got me doing a few things. I used to hit 58 degree with everything. So all of a sudden he said, right, start chipping with your 50 and your 54. And as soon as I did, it just improved massively because I couldn't do the same thing. I was always trying to de-loft a 58 degree wedge. Whereas with a 50 with a 50 in particular, I was almost trying to add loft, but not add it by casting too early. It was just letting the loft of the club.
Okay, guys, I'm taking the moment for commercials. I want to take a moment to talk about the tools that make this podcast and the data analysis you hear every week possible. We spend so much time on the PXE is the fastest, most effective way to connect with your coach. You can film your swing right inside the app, get instant feedback, and even chat with your coach about a specific shot you just hit, all in real time over the internet. It's how to get the professional analysis and advice from anywhere in the world right when you need it. And for the professional coaches out there, their PXC, the Player Experience Coach. We know you are passionate about golf, but you need to grow your business and make a living from your experience. PXC is the platform that helps you to do that. It allows you to manage students from all over the world, analyze their data and video remotely, and show them exactly what they need to work on. You can share drills, provide feedback, and communicate seamlessly with all your players, turning your knowledge into a scalable business. You can make more money by helping more players and while providing a higher level of service. Wherever you are a player looking for a competitive edge or a coach ready to modernize your business, the WatchItGolf app are the future of golf instruction. And for now, they are exclusively available for iOS users. Of course, Android coming soon. So if you're an iPhone or iPad user, head over the App Store and download WatchItGolf PXE and WatchItGolf PXE to start your data-driven journey to better golf and better coaching businesses. On the screen, you see the link where you can register as a coach in Watch It Golf Academy, and QR code provide you the link to our application you can download and get your golf performance possibility better. Take care and have a nice day. See ya.
Be at 50 at impact. So I didn't de-loft. And it was brilliant for me. So yeah, data-wise, quite neutral path. Angular attack pretty good, but with no shaft lean. And then all of a sudden you start seeing the ball rolling up the face, up the grooves, rather than across the face. And I started seeing better flight numbers, better spin numbers. So it's kind of something I don't look at numbers very often in the short swing, but if all of a sudden I find the flight and spin what I want to see from a player, then I'll get the numbers and go, right, this is our benchmark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, because I last time we met in Manchester, we were on the range and you're hitting some pitching wedges with our system, and then you were looking for some numbers around 9,000, 9,500, something like that for a full swing pitch shot, and that's some number you find out by yourself, or has it come from experience of seeing how the ball interact with the green and so on? Or
Yeah, I mean, I don't spin the ball that much anyway, so quite a lot of the times when I was hitting pitch shots into greens, I just wasn't getting the spin. So I just kind of played about with it a little bit to see if I could spin it a little bit more without really kind of chopping down on the ball and losing the flight. So yeah, it was just something I kind of played about with and found that the best how I like to visualize the flight and visually see the flight that I want, the numbers were between 8.5 and 9 coming out with the Pro V1. But I heard something really interesting from the Titleist guys about your wedges, and I can't remember what it was, but basically, if you it was like 4,000 shots. I'm not quoting on this, but if you've hit 4,000 shots with your wedge, which the majority of us will have, and more, it's either 3 or 4, then you lose something like 30% or 25% spin with those wedges, which is phenomenal because you think there'll be guys playing with wedges that are 3, 4, 5 years old.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden they'll have virtually no spin, and they're hitting shots going, why aren't I spinning it? I want to spin it more. I'm just going to get some new wedges. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. No, I heard somewhere also the tour players actually change like 3 full sets of wedges during a season.
I would have thought
they
so,
hit
yeah.
many shots. Yeah,
I would have thought so. I used to change mine twice probably, but I think when I start playing again and playing a lot, it'll be three different sets every year. You know what it's like. You get a new wedge. I mean, all you want to do is spin it, and you can.
Just to be straightforward, I mean, for an amateur that's holding a club that's 3 years old and don't understand why the ball doesn't stop on the green, it's not the technique, it's not the way you hit the ball. It might be the club actually that's breaks everything. So it's really
Absolutely.
of course. Yeah.
Or it might be as simple as just clean your grooves as well.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Lucas, you're the one that needs
No, I'm sometimes cleaning my clubs. Sometimes
not all the time though.
Yeah, that's right. But of course, the average players had a lot of other problems, right? Because if we are discussing about practicing, there are some frameworks how to practice or how to be better in some type of shots, like short irons, long irons, or even wedges.
What is there some framework? No, I think everybody's different. If I'm honest. Like my practice session will look very different to Patrick's, whose will look very different to yours. But again, we all have a tendency to practice what we're good at. because it gives us that.
That's true.
It gives us that false confidence, whereas actually, and I was guilty of it on tour. Don't get me wrong, I was a brilliant tee to green player, so I spent the majority of my time on the range. Whereas actually, I should have looked at it and gone, right, my short game needs to get better, and my putting definitely needs to get better. So I should have spent 60% of my time on the putting green. Because I was such a good tee to green player, I needed to improve the parts of my game that weren't quite as good. But again, it's like having a good swing. We like looking at it. And I liked hitting balls because I knew I was good at it. But then when I started working on the things I wasn't good at, that's when I started seeing the real difference. But we all like to see success, right? We all like.
I mean, it's more fun to practice in things that you're already good in, for sure.
Of course it is.
In a good way. That's right.
Of course it is. Whereas if we went through off the tee, long approach shots, mid approach shots, short approach shots, pitching, chipping, bunker play, putting, you got 8 categories there. So all of a sudden, if you put them in your order, so when I was on tour, I'd have gone off the tee, mid approach, short approach would have been my best 3. My worst 3 would have been putting, bunker play, and long iron play. Now, really looking at it, that's what I should have been spending 70% of my time on.
Yeah.
But if I was spending my time on that and not feeling like I'm improving, I'd almost be thinking to myself, well, you're not getting any better. And I'm worried about this week because I'm not playing very good. But I'm actually improving the parts of the game that need improving.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I've started practicing my putting. I mean, I love it. I love practicing putting because it's made a massive difference. I don't hit the ball anywhere near as good as I used to, but I tell you what, I'm 3-4 times better putter than I was when I was on tour.
Yeah. So now we know when you're back on tour what you will practice on.
I'll need to practice long game then, so I'll be back on the range.
Yeah, because the par is okay. Then I've practiced putting.
Yeah.
But my long drive is not okay. But I don't like drive. That's me.
Yeah.
That's me, of course.
Right.
Yeah, but it is something like opening the Pandora's box today when some average golfers listening us, because there is a normal thing that the golfers all the time trying to practice the part of the game where the best.
Yeah.
Right? Because the ball looks great, flight looks great, but nobody take care about the high of the flight, the window where you should be each shot. Because only flying the ball straight, right?
Yeah.
If you talk about the flight window, Lucas, I don't think many players actually know where the ball should be in the air, actually, because they have never experienced the same type of shot twice or 3 times in a row. So I don't think amateur players understand how important it is to actually have a flight window for each shot. That's really, really important, because that's also going to be you're going to get the same carry distance out of the shot. You're going to get the same. If it's windy, the ball is going to react the same way if you hit it in the same window and so on. So you know what's going to happen more with the ball, actually. So I think we need to talk about what height should you fly the golf ball in with a 7 iron, for instance, or with a 6 iron pitching wedge, and I would say most of the players hit the ball too low, actually. They hit them in about 65 to 75 feet in the air, and most of the time that's not. Then you have a descent angle into the green, which is too steep
landing
or
angle
too
is
flat.
too high.
Yeah.
Too flat. That's right.
Too flat, and the ball rolls out too much and maybe rolls off the green. So the height of the trajectory is really important for each shots. And then you can have unclean grooves, Lucas, because if you're coming in steep, the ball still will stop. So that might be something.
You know, my carry distance always the same. You know, I'm a good striker. But in your opinion, Simon, because you are the low window golfer.
I am a low window golfer, but it's so funny Patrick said that because I see the opposite. People hit it too high.
Okay.
So they come in really shallow. They don't deliver it with any shaft lean. They get it off the bottom two grooves and it just pops up in the air. So I see totally the opposite.
Yeah, I can agree with you there, but it depending on what level the player is on, I would say.
Yeah.
the higher handicap, the more on what you just said, I also see. But the better the player, it's still a little bit low, in my opinion. And when if you look into the numbers and see to actually maximize the carry, maximize the stop on the green and everything, you need to be in a certain window to execute it on in the right way.
It should be. But last time I played with someone and say, okay, your irons are good, but you are too much delofting. And I said, and I thought the lofting, but in my opinion, the lofting is even okay, right? Because you the ball speed is higher even during the shot, and you shoot a little the loft every shot with your iron, or I'm thinking
but then
barely.
No, I think if you de-loft too much, then the club head speed's going to be down because your hands are moving faster. So you see all these long driving guys, they don't de-loft. They literally release that club head, so it's catching up, and that's where they get their fast club head speed from. So I would only really de-loft a lot when I'm trying to control a shot and I'm not looking for distance, and it's more about the control. So saying a strong wind, that's probably why I was good in wind, because I do de-loft a lot.
Yeah, and you are from UK, it is normally, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah,
windy country. That's right.
Patrick's saying about it coming in too flat. It just plugs anyway in the UK. But yeah, so if your hands are moving faster and that club's lagging more, it's not speeding up. So that's the only time I would exaggerate a shot like that, is if I wasn't trying to get distance. Maybe if I was trying to take a bit of distance off a club and control it a bit better.
Yeah, but it is possible to practice this kind of shots during your practice on the driving range. It is necessary, or you should only practice some part of game.
I mix my flights up, so I'll hit bog standards, then I'll go, right, I want to hit one 5 yards higher than that and 5 yards lower than that, and just work on, like, there's my optimal. Right, what's that? So say it's 90 feet is my optimal. Then I'd hit one higher than that and one lower. So then I see my club speed move up a little bit and move down a little bit. But for me, it's more about, can I flight it a bit lower? Can I flight it a bit higher? What does that feel like? What did I do there? So it's different flights. So it's not always the same shot, because we're not always in the middle of the fairway with an 8-iron to a pin. Sometimes you might be in the rough and you're behind a tree and you want to get it above. Or sometimes you might be into the wind from a little bit short and you want to take a bit off and flight it lower. It's everything's changing. So on a golf course, you never ask. That's the one someone once said to me. You never asked the same question twice on a golf course. So why do you answer the same question over and over again on the range? And I thought that is such a great quote.
Yeah.
I made to ask about this. That's right, because on the golf course you get only one shot, right? And how to choose the right one.
Go. It's like the putting green. Years and years ago, there was a lad on tour called Christian Savard, French kid, good player, won a few times, unbelievable putter. And Pete Cowan said to me, I want you to go and watch him. Go and watch him practice his putting. So I went and watched him. I watched him for about half an hour, came back, and he said, what did you notice? And I said, for starters, he hits one ball, and every putt he hits, it's like he's on the golf course trying to win a tournament. Every single putt, full routine, line, pay, get a feel for it, visualization, hits the putt. And that was his practice session. Yet you ask the majority of amateurs, they put 3 balls down.
Yeah.
They miss the first, they hold the next 2. Oh, I'm putting all right. Well, you're not. You missed the one that matters.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Right. I see myself now. Sorry.
Yeah. One ball, make it count.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, but it always should be the same. Not only with putting, right? Maybe the same should be with iron on the driving range. You should do the same, right? As
but
on a golf course.
But say if you were practicing with your 8 iron, then you could change targets. Like block practice. Say you were doing block practice, and instead of just hitting to one specific target, mix it up. Hit to a flag over there. Hit to a flag to the right. Mix the flights up so you've every shot feels different, basically.
Yeah.
But
hit
I do
the fade,
think
hit the draw, hit the straight.
Absolutely. If you do the block practice, go high draw, high fade, low draw, low fade, bog standard shot.
Yeah, but it is even more complicated because most of the things, if the average golfer goes to the driving range, had in their heads that I should go in out, right? And even sometimes he did not even understand what it is behind in out in with the swing. Did not know any number, maybe the swing path, maybe the face angle. There is everything is a magic sometimes. But opening the YouTube and say you should go that way because gives you in out more, and how they should practice this without knowledge.
So yeah, but how did you learn to ride a bike when you were a kid? There was no manual.
Start riding a bike. That's right.
You got on it and you tried.
Yeah.
So why trying to learn a new shot? Can you not do this and find out what works for you? Right, I'll give a say if you hit a cut and you want to hit a draw, right, let's have a go at it. You might fail a lot, but I'll tell you what, you'll figure it out at some point.
Yeah.
You really will.
For sure, yeah.
Trouble is, we all want people to tell us what to do. So you go and see a coach, right, I want you to do this. So someone's telling you what to do. Whereas actually, you'd be better off just go figuring it out for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, I've just done a lot of coaches.
Yeah. But I really like what you just said, Simon. Of just try it. Try to hit the fade. Try to hit the draw. Even if you don't master it, try it, because that's actually how you learn. Because you also get the visualization out of it. Also, when you finally hit the draw you're looking for, then you start to understand also what you did, because you have the feeling, the visualization to go back to, and then you can try a second time. Maybe you fail again, but eventually you will start hitting, understand how you hit the high draw or whatever you're practicing on.
Absolutely. So, I mean, God, I remember a kid came in to see me. He was with his 9 iron. He was -9 club path. -9. I mean, everything was just sky high, big high cut. And I just said, look, I want you to hit me some draws. Don't know how to. I went, figure it out. Just have a go. So he started hitting. Curves started coming down. All of a sudden, the flight came down. The distance went up. The curvature went down. And then within probably 15 shots, he hit about a 2-yard draw. And it was the purest flight you've ever seen. And he just looked at me and he was like, I never thought I'd ever be able to hit a draw. I went, but how many times have you tried to hit it? He went, oh, I'd give it 2 or 3 goes and then stop. I'm like, well, that's there you go. But yeah, we're bloody good at figuring things out ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely, and that knowledge actually going to stick much longer than you if you were telling.
100%, 100% it is.
Yeah, but okay, then we are talking about this, and maybe I will put the stick. But why the average golfer should find a good coach in that way, right? If they made to figure out by themselves everything, maybe
Because I think
the
good coach will be able to tell you why you're then doing it. Like, he didn't know why he was doing it. He just tried it, and then I explained to him what he was doing. And all of a sudden he was like, oh, right, yeah, I get that. So I was doing that and now I'm doing that. Whereas he literally didn't know.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And you know what? It is always good to have another set of eyes on your swing. Always. Like, I know my tendencies. I know what I do wrong in my swing. But it's still nice to get some input from a coach. And they might go, oh, you know you do this, don't you? And I'm like, flipping it, no, I don't. But yeah, I know exactly what I do. I know what I need to get stronger. I know what I need to, how I need to practice. But I still want somebody, like when I go back playing again, I'm hoping to go back with Pete Cowan because I trust everything that he says. So I know what I need to do, but I still want him to see it. I still want him to watch it and go, right, this is what you're doing.
Second opinion and second opinion. You need that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially second opinion from your friends, right? The 25 handicappers.
I wear earplugs when that happens.
Yeah. Last time I showed on the driving range and somebody was really fresh, and someone from another players came to and describe how to swing should look like.
Yeah.
That was the turbo, right?
There's a lot of experts.
First touching of the ball, that was.
Yeah, there's a lot of experts out there. Yeah.
Now we are the experts as well, because we are discussing about how to be an expert, and I'll ask the expert.
Yeah, which we're talking with the expert.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And that's why we are inviting experts only, and practice guy, right? And this is the most important. Okay, guys, I think the topic is quite interesting, but we have to finish almost, because not touch all problems with. I don't find the answer. Where's my framework is when I should hit the ball, but for sure everybody should know now. They practice and practice and practice. It will be enough, right?
If they practice productively.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
not Machine Gun Mike.
That was the masterclass practice directly from Simon Dyson. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Patrick. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching us, guys, and see you next time in another Friday. Bye-bye.